part in blessing. Sometimes people ask God for blessing. Sometimes you ask God for a blessing, but you're always questioning the source of that blessing. You tend to say to yourself, you know what? I want my blessing to come from a specific person. And when that blessing comes from the person you least likely to expect to show you gratitude, will be to just be there for you, you just tend to ruin it by saying, I don't see why I have to come to you. I don't see why you are the person who should deliver my blessing. And then the question I have for you is, if you are looking for a blessing, does it matter who brings that blessing to you? Does it matter who delivers your blessing? Then you will ask yourself, you could say to yourself, no, well, it doesn't matter. That's what most people say. Most people say it doesn't matter who delivers the blessing, as long as they receive the blessing. But you also have those people out there who tend to never recognize blessings because they feel like the person who is delivering the blessing should not be in the position to deliver the blessing. So therefore, they will take the blessing and they come back to the person and say, I'm pissed off at myself for coming to you for blessings, for being there for me. And some people are pissed off at themselves for having a specific person being there for them. And they don't understand that when you do that, you are offending God. You are offending the universe. You are offending the higher power who is there to help you and guide you into your next level. Then you will say, no, that's not true. That is not true. And I just want to have choices. But you know what? In the midst of the situation, does it matter who delivers the blessing? That's a question I'm asking you guys out there. And if you have the answer, please just drop me a line. And those of you who's been supporting me from the start, and I really appreciate it. And those of you who just criticizing too, I really appreciate your criticism. But what I'm asking you today is pretty simple. Does it matter who delivers your blessing? And in this week, I experienced a situation where I want to bring it to you guys. And normally I don't make it personal, but today I want to bring it to you to ask you, does it matter who delivers your blessing? And if you deliver a blessing to someone and that person shows you that they're not grateful for the blessing, or the person shows you that, you know what, you should not have been in a position to deliver the blessing to me, so therefore I'm going to throw a temper tantrum, or I'm going to make you feel like you should not have been in a position to have my back. And is it wrong for people to have your back? You know, there's questions right now. Is it wrong for some people to have your back despite what you have done to them? Despite what you have done to that person, despite how much you've tried to destroy the person's life, is it wrong for the person to be the person delivering the blessing? So the person who you deliver the blessing to will get upset because when they call upon you, you're there for them. And then after they receive the blessing, they feel like you should not have been in a position to bless them. You should not have been in a position to have their back. And I know some of you right now, you might be heading to church, you might be going to work, you might be in a relationship right now, and you might say to yourself, you know what? After what your spouse have done, after what he or she has done, and now after what you've done to the person, and now the person still has your back. How do you feel about that? That's a question I'm asking you guys out there. How do you feel about who delivers your blessing? And does it matter who does that? And if you've done wrong to someone, they deliver blessings to you, is God, what do you say to yourself when that comes to you? And I'm asking you that question because I don't know. I'm torn right now. I have a situation and I want to bring it to you guys. Give me your answer. if you were delivering the blessing to someone, and every time, every chance they get, they make you feel like, well, you should not be the one delivering me my blessing. You should not be the one to be there in the position to bless me or in the position to be there for me. And then, do you have a boss right now, regardless of how many times you late, and the boss still believes in you? And do you have a husband? How many times you messed things up? How many times you've done things and to feel like he should have divorced you, but every time you have an issue, that man is there for you. And then if you do have a wife right now, whatever you've done, she's got your back. And the question is it wrong for that person to have your back? And do you have a brother or sister that you always have their back, or they always have your back? It could be vice versa. How do you feel when the person you don't expect to have your back? How do you feel about that? And then if you feel like there's something wrong, if you feel like the person shouldn't have your back, but do you feel like you are killing your blessings? Because does God, does you know, do where should your blessing come from? And then who should deliver the blessing? And then I know a lot of you might have your own personal history, anything personal about you. You want to feel like, you know what, I have pride. I'm not going to stoop low for my enemy or somebody you've done wrong to be there for you. And when that person is there for you, you probably feel like, you know what, that person shouldn't be there for me. But what if it's you who's on the receiving end? What if you're in the delivering end of the blessing, but you're also in the receiving end of the negativity as you deliver that blessing? Would you stop delivering that blessing because the person you're delivering the blessings to feel like you shouldn't be in the position to be the one to deliver the blessing to them? You know, I have the answer myself, and I want to say, for me, I would say it doesn't matter where my blessing comes from. It doesn't. It doesn't matter who delivers my blessing. It doesn't. Because whoever delivers that blessing is a blessing from God. And then if the people you least expected to be the person delivering that blessing to you, and they're delivering the blessing, I don't see what the problem should be. But some people do have an issue with certain people delivering their blessings. So therefore, they would act up. They would just throw a temper tantrum. They would feel, I don't know how they feel, but if you right now, you go to church and you may not like your pastor, and the pastor's the one that can bless you, and the person's the one that can pray for you to pay your rent and to be able to go to school, and then what would you do? Would you just sit there and then don't take the blessing? Or some of you out there who you want to go to school and you feel like, well, it's beneath you to apply for financial aid, but you're complaining to God and say, hey, God, listen, man, I want to go to school, but you qualify for financial aid, but you're not going because you want to take student loan because it gives you a higher status. Or for those of you out there who feel like, you know what, especially right now, we have a lot of people driving rideshare, and some people say to themselves, you know what, they can't pay the bills, and they feel like, well, it's beneath me to drive rideshare to help somebody and then make money in the process. And some people would say to themselves that there are some businesses they would never start because it's beneath them. What about the person right now who they don't have a ride to go to work, and someone called them and said, you know what, here's a car. They feel like, well, because, this foundation, this organization is donating cars, that's beneath me. But you cannot do for yourself when the blessing comes, you're still pushing it away. Or that person who gets stranded in the middle of the ocean. You have the Coast Guard, you have all the team of rescues who come to rescue that person. The person say, you know what, no, I'm waiting for God to just save me. And in the process, God doesn't come. And they died. And they come around and say, God, what's going on here? And God said, listen, man, I sent you help. You refused. So your pride can stand in your way. Your pride could be the reason why you don't grow. Your pride could be the reason why you don't make it in life, because you feel so prideful about the situation and you feel like, man, I'm not going to do this because this person shouldn't be the person who's in the position to assist me. So I'm going to not accept the help. And if I do accept the help, I'm going to accept it with a heavy heart. But is it wrong to you? How do you feel about that? For me, it doesn't matter who brings my blessing, because if I pray to God, man, if I have a situation, I pray to God, and the next morning I wake up, somebody decide, hey, yo, man, I'm here to do your blessing, man. Listen, I'm gonna take that blessing. I don't know about you. Or it's like, the people who say, man, they need a job. They need a job, and then all of a sudden somebody they haven't talked to in a while, or somebody that they probably not friends with anymore. And the person said, listen, they're hiring somebody who's qualified, who has your qualification, and pay is good. Would you take the job? And some people would say, no, man, because this person called you, you don't want to take the job. But last night you prayed to God to help you find a good job. Because what you will understand is the universe doesn't care who delivers the message. As long as the message is delivered, that's what counts. The universe doesn't care who delivers your blessing. As long as the blessing is delivered, the universe has done its job. God has done his job, because it doesn't matter if that person you think should not be the person delivering your blessing is the person God wants to deliver the blessing, because that person is the one who has the blessing to bless you. Would you let your pride stand in the way and you say to yourself, I don't want this. I don't want this in my life. I don't want this person to do this. I don't want this person to bring the blessing. And you start using derogatory language toward the person and a condescending attitude, while the person is the person who wants to help you. I want you to not destroy your blessing. Stop destroying your blessing. You will rise. And the reason you need to stop destroying your blessing, because if you keep destroying your blessing, sooner or later, you're going to have the biggest regrets in your life, because for every time they deliver a blessing, you destroy it. One day, your luck's going to run out. Your luck's going to run out, because every time God sent people to help you get out your rut, every time God sent people to get you out of your situation, all you do is you ruin the situation. Your attitude destroys the situation. If God said, listen, man, you got to move from where you are. No, man, I'm not going to live in that neighborhood. But the funny thing is, beneath that house, maybe there's $100,000 hidden under the floorboard. And then you say, man, I don't want it. And then now your friend or your neighbor decided to purchase the house and they found the money. Now you're going to kick yourself in the head, and then you be like, man, how stupid could I be? Well, a lot of people out there have been that way. A lot of us have been in a position where we feel like we shouldn't ask this specific person for help. And therefore, when they deliver the help, we reject it even when we accept it. And we accept the help, but we accept it with a heavy heart, because we feel like that person shouldn't be the person in a position to assist you. Because if you keep thinking that way, you're going to destroy your own lives. And if you have children, if you keep thinking that we're going to destroy their lives, they're going to copy your attitude. Tomorrow they're going to be ungrateful to the universe, and the universe sometimes punishes you for being ungrateful. The universe will punish you for being ungrateful, because it doesn't matter who delivers that blessing, you must accept it. As long as the blessing doesn't come with conditions that would be detrimental to you and your family. Sometimes blessings come from the least expected people. The least expected people, God would use the least expected people to help you. God will put you in the least expected situation in order to test you, in order to get you out of the situation you're in. Because God doesn't care about who he uses to get you out. He will get you out. Once you believe in the power of God, once you believe that, you know what, I got this, and God said, you know what, I got your back. Once you say thank you to God, you respect the blessing that's coming to you, you will get everything done. So stop destroying your blessings. Accept your blessings, regardless of where it comes from. You will rise above all odds. Thank you.